Hello everyone. In this episode, we'll set up AI Center and then we'll see the various ways of AI Center deployment. So these are the three ways in which you can deploy AI Center. Firstly, cloud. So here you can deploy, manage, and improve your ML models in UiPath Automation Cloud itself. So advantages will be like you don't require any infrastructure or maintenance. UiPath will take care for cloud. And document understanding will also be available in your Path Cloud itself. Next, automation suite. Second option is to deploy in automation suite. Here it will be completely your choice. So you can decide on the on-premise virtual machines, and that infrastructure also you can decide. And then the cloud subscriptions also, and then the cloud subscriptions also will be in your choice. For on-premise, we have two. One will be air-gapped, and then the other one will be normal on-premises, like on-premises online. So only difference will be like for on-premises air-gapped, there is no require of internet. We don't need internet access, and then from on-premise online, we need internet access. So on-premise is nothing but like you will get a separate URL for AI Center, and then within there you'll be deploying ML models, and then you'll be consuming those ML models using ML skill in UiPath Studio. So these are the three ways. Now let's see how do we access AI Center. So firstly, to gain the access, you need to request for enterprise plan. If you're using community edition, you need to request for enterprise plan. Like I did, you will get here. You can request for a few days. So once you request, you'll have to enable. Go to tenant, and then you'll be able to see services. Here you'll be seeing your Path AI Center. You can just have to enable it. So then it will be visible in your here. I mean, in main pane, it will be visible. So so this is how it looks essentially. Next, we'll see the licensing part. So for AI Center, we consider AI units. Based on AI units consumption, you will be charged. So how do we calculate the AI units? Firstly, so overall consumption cost will be calculated by using this formula: prediction cost plus hardware cost. Well, let's see what is prediction cost. So prediction cost is nothing but the input size. Maybe if it is text, then it will be in characters into the unit cost of the model. So let's see an example like how this formula will be used. For example, in our earlier example, so we have movie feedback classifier, right? So let's see how much it will cost to classify one review. Let's take one review. So let's calculate the prediction cost. So as we know, input size into unit cost of the model will be the, so this will be the formula, right? So to calculate the prediction, we need to know two things for the model. So firstly, the model, yeah, we have chosen. So we have to choose a model. So here, assume I'm choosing text classifier model. So for text classifier model, so for each 5,000 characters, so there will be 3 units of consumption. And then for each unit, it will cost 0.5 units. So this information will be constant. So we need to know this information for each model. So let's take review one, and then it is size of 5,000 characters. So as we said before, so for 5,000 characters, it will be 3 units, right? So input size cost will be 3 units, and then per unit cost will be 0.5 units. So 0.5. So if you multiply this, this will be your prediction cost. So 1.5 units. So that will be your prediction cost. Next, hardware cost. Hardware cost formula will be like replicas into resource cost. Replicas, this is like these are like by default values based on account type. If your account type is enterprise, then it will be 2. If your account types are some other else, then it will be 1. So let's take a consumption example to calculate the entire consumption cost. So assume you have to automate a process, and then you need two UiPath models, AI Center models. One is multilingual text classification, and second one is invoices. So firstly, we have to train the model, right? Next, we'll be hosting the models, and then at the end, we'll be deploying the models. So firstly, let's calculate the training cost. So first step is to train, and then to train, assume it will take 6 hours 30 minutes using GPU. So as I mentioned before, so firstly we are calculating the hardware cost. So it will take 6 hours 30 minutes using GPU. So how the GPU, how is the conversion the consumption rate for GPU? So we have a table for that. So if you use CPU, then 0.5 CPU and then 2 GB RAM, one it will cost 1 unit. So these are the CPUs. And then so at the end, if you are using GPU, then it will cost 20 units. So for hardware cost, unit cost for CPU will be 6 units per hour, and then GPU will be 20 units per hour. So assume we are using GPU. So training took 6 hours 30 minutes, right? So round it to 7 hours. So 7 hours into for GPU it will be 20 units per hour, right? So 20 units. So it will be 140 units to train the multilingual text classification. Next, we'll be deploying these two models, right? So firstly, to deploy, it might take 3 months. I mean, they have to continuously run for 3 months. Assume it has to run 3 months, and then they're using CPU, right? So and then for multilingual text classification, the process start 20,000 characters, and then like 20,000 text, and then these are like 3,000 characters. And then for invoice model, there are like 10,000 units, and each contains 2 pages each. So assume this is the information for these two models. And now let's calculate. So 24 hours per day. It will be it runs for 3 months, right? So 3 months will be like 3 into 30. That will be 90 days. 24 into 90, 2 units per hour because we are using CPU. So if you see here, if you're using one CPU with 4 GB RAM, it will cost you 2 units per hour, right? So that's why we are using 2 units here. So multiply, if you multiply this, we'll get 4320. Same for invoices. So this will be for multi-language and this will be for invoices. So until here, we have calculated the hardware cost. Next, the prediction cost. To make the predictions, as we said, we have like 20,000, right? So 20,000 characters, 20,000 characters, and then the language, these are like constants. So, language will consume 2 units per 20,000, so we'll give 2, and then per unit cost will be 0.5. So these two will be the constants, depends on the model. So likewise, we calculate for invoice as well. So and then you'll get 20,000 units and then 20,000 units. At the end, we'll just sum up all these costs to calculate the consumption cost. So for this model, so for this to automate a model with two mod to automate a process with two models, at the end, the consumption cost will be 48,780 units. So based on this, you'll have to there will be a cost for each AI unit. So you have to multiply this with that cost, and then you'll get the licensing cost for the final process. How do you check that? If you go to your administration page, I will not be able to open this because there will be this API key information. So I pasted a screenshot. So here, if you go to UiPath, it is AI Center now. Previously, it was AI Fabric. So under that, you'll find licenses, and then under consumables, you'll have this section called AI units. So that's about licensing.